Welcome to the Aboriginal channel. This episode will be another part to Ancestor search through the Shawnee and Ohio Valley tribes. So we're going to focus right here in right around St. Louis, Kentucky, where on the Kentucky tribe maps it says that the Shawnee are the tribe that belonged in that area, which in the previous video we seen that the Shawnee were fighting in the American Civil War. So right here in Louisville, Kentucky, is a place called Cave Hill Cemetery. And at that cemetery, which is on a mound, let's look at the picture of it right here. See how it goes up, then it goes down on the other side. That's a mound. But right here it says more than 200 Confederate soldiers are buried in Section O of the cemetery. Now, Section O, that's like saying section, the circle section. An O is a circle, right? Okay, so that's how they marked it. That's how they know what's there by saying it's Section O. But this was a mound village, this whole so-called cemetery. As you can see right here, it says the middle fork of Beargrass Creek runs through Cave Hill, and a source stream flowing into the creek roughly divides the cemetery in new eastern and old western sections. That stream flows from a spring near the cave that gave the property its name. The cave can be entered for about 30 feet, and then there is a marginal amount of crawl space beyond that point. However, the cave is officially off limits. There are also 5 man-made lakes. The cemetery currently features more than 500 species of trees and shrubs, including some 24 current state champion trees, including both native species such as pignut hickory and exotic wingnut trees. But basically, at this place, Section O would be the area of Aboriginal importance. Next, we're going to move over here to West Virginia, right here where all these battles in the Civil War took place. And when you look at a tribes map of West Virginia, you can see that the Shawnee and Ohio Valley tribes were located and fighting in that area during the Civil War. Located right here in Greenbrier County, Lewisburg, West Virginia, is a mass grave. It says the Confederate Cemetery in Lewisburg features a mass grave of 95 unknown Confederate soldiers who died during the Battle of Lewisburg on May 23, 1862. The graves were laid out in a cross design on a hilltop on the edge of the town. Now, like I showed you in previous video and earlier in this video, where they put unknown Confederates in a Section O of the cemetery, and also the Confederate circle located in Tennessee. All this is letting them know, and also whoever knows, who is buried there. So when it says they were laid out in a cross design on a hilltop on the edge of town, that let you know that those were the Indians, because the cross or the X symbol plays a major role in American Indian culture and spirituality. And in a previous video, I show where at Angola prison, an entire part of the prison is set up with in an X-shaped form, which indicates this prison is placed upon an old mound village. As you can see how close it is to the water's edge. Now we're going to move over here to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where when we look at a tribes map, it says that the Shawnee and Ohio Valley tribes were located in that area. Located there is what is called the Pittsburgh Storage and Supply Depot, the U.S. Army. As you can look at how this is built and go and look at other episodes of Aboriginal forts and castles, you will see that this is built exactly like those Aboriginal forts and castles, which could only mean one thing. But it says right here on September 17th, 1862 at 2 p.m., the Pittsburgh Arsenal exploded. 78 people were killed instantly. Most were young women. 54 were never identified. If most were young women, but 54 were unidentified, it just don't make sense on that. So you know what that means. But moving down to a particular building there, right here. These little star-shaped emblems can be seen on Aboriginal shell art, as can be seen right here. See this in this guy's hand right here? It's the same shape. This is a hero twin. American Indian culture right here. It says Birdman Gorget, Etowah. Native American artifacts. But when you go back, you can also see it right here. And this is a drawing of a shell gorget, which is basically right here. It says Cherokee Gorget. You see that shape? Then you have some faces also right here on this building. with what also looks like a sun right there in the middle. These also look like crowns on their heads right here. They have what looks like to be Aboriginal faces. You ask me, that's an Aboriginal castle right there. But the question on that is whether the arsenal there belonged to Indians or the colonists. If you go back and look at where the battles were at in the Civil War, I would say it belonged to Aboriginal Americans before that explosion. As some correlation to the faces that we found on that building there in Pittsburgh, you can go, I typed in right here, mound artifact Native American hair combs. And right here you see what is basically is a hair pick, but it has one of those faces on it. It's another hair pick with the faces on it, and it looks like those crown things on the top of his head. Same thing. This is mound artifacts. Here's another pick with a face. See the face in there. As another piece of correlation in the book, The Antiquities of Tennessee and the Adjacent States, and the State of Aboriginal Society and the Scale of Civilization represented by them, by Gates P. Thurston, 1897. It says that an ancient Shawnee village and stockade fort was built upon the present site of Nashville. They were a fine type of Native American, the tribe later of Logan and Tushkami. For a century or more, they held sway. Their domain extended from the Ohio to the Tennessee River, but these far possessions were the constant envy of their neighbors. They were never at peace. No wonder their ancient homes upon the Cumberland were fortified like the walled towns of feudal Europe. Each settlement probably had its castle of security. Through the history books, which has all been a lie, so therefore, if it's a lie, then what's the truth? If it's a lie, then what's the